Hello, my name is William Walden, and I would like to thank you for joining me here to listen to my speech about culture. So, from this class, not only have I learned the ins and outs of being a successful and competent public speaker, but I've also learned the importance of values, the norms that we preach, and the cultures that we come into contact with. The way we speak is highly affected by our culture and the norms that are preached to us, as well as the things that we come into contact with in our daily lives. And then this is very important when it comes to interacting with cultures that are different than ours. And there are many different cultures throughout the world, and each of these different cultures has the ability to bring something special. A culture that I find very interesting and intriguing would be the Native American culture. This comes from the way that they perform their ritual dances and different ceremonies that they have. The Native American people were raised here, and they know many different secrets about the land that most people don't know about. And this captures the very special meaning of the land that we live and the land that they live in. Many people are unsure the knowledge that the Native Americans have. This is mainly due to language barriers and different cultural differences like that. In many Native American cultures, they highly value being in harmony with the land that they live on and survive off of, as well as also respecting others, no matter the decisions that they've made. And I believe that this is a trait that many people should take into account and use it throughout their own culture. So, along with that, there are many other numerous things that people can learn from the Native American culture. When taking into account their respect for others, no matter the decisions that they've made, this is something that can influence the way that I speak. I could start speaking kind words and endless support to those around me, as well as, like I said, respecting those no matter the decisions that they've made. Within a culture, the way words are spoken, what is said, and what it means is what sets that culture different from other cultures. Looking at the religious practices of the Native American culture helps to show their beliefs and connections to the spiritual side of life. These practices include dances that are used to connect to the spirits of the loved ones that have passed. When looking at the historical context of the Native American culture, we know, and there are many examples of hardships and problems that they have faced throughout history. These hardships have affected the way that they see and talk to other cultures that aren't a part of their own. Looking at the social context of the Native American culture, you can see different roles you can see the different roles that they have. And looking at all of these contexts explains how the culture itself is maintained. We can understand these norms within the Native American culture by these contexts because we can see their connections to their loved ones who have passed, how they see things, and the way in which their society runs. In my opinion, I do not see these norms as being problematic or confusing. This is because I've always found the Native American culture to be rather intriguing and interesting. One attribute from the Native American culture that I choose a value in would be the value of knowledge. Native Americans have more knowledge, specifically on natural things, than most cultures, and I find this very intriguing, mainly because of their knowledge of where we live and where we reside. I would interact with families that have different cultural norms and family roles in a way that is understandable and respectful. If researching this culture, I would find that the knowledge of the land would be the most important thing to learn. Looking at the Native American culture has opened the door for fresh research into such a unique culture. Since learning about the values, the norms, and practices of the Native American cultures that Native Americans take part in, I want to try to be more understanding and respectful to cultures that are not my own. These are some of the values that I would like to practice and understand better to help potentially make people more aware of other cultures and also to help improve my own culture.